And of course, as we told you earlier, we had yesterday begun a special feature with a son of Maryland County who has been in the sporting arena. He's now pretty seated. As I told you, he was going to be our guest, in-studio guest. Let's use this time to welcome veteran footballer William Tenesio Tarpeh. Sir, welcome once more to Phoenix FM.
Rachel, thank you so much. Rachel, it's always a pleasure, Rachel, to be here. To also be here in Maryland, in Harper City, a city we grew up in, we're born in. It's a pleasure to see this city again.
Okay. Yes, and indeed, yesterday we got rudely interrupted by the issue of electricity. But nonetheless, we are here, and I hope that this time around things will go on as smoothly as possible.
Thank you so much. Yes, Rachel, it's good to be here, and also it's good to be able to talk to my people, the people of Maryland, the county I love so much, the city I was born in, and the city I grew up in. So yeah, it's good to be back home.
Before we touch on any other thing, you're a man of soccer, football. You've been listening to our conversation from the correspondents. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I think it's a good start. Football is an expensive endeavor. Football, sports is very costly. So to have a team in a competition of this kind of nature, the team has to be supported from different avenues. There has to be a stream of funds coming from everywhere. So yeah, I mean, the team needs money.
Yeah, indeed, it needs money. I know you didn't get a chance to maybe have a glimpse of their formation and whatnot, but we're going to come to football, and especially at the county mid-level, because I believe you have some plan for that. But let's first begin by extending our sincere sympathy to you for the loss of your brother, who was also a soccer guru in Maryland County.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rachel, for the sympathy expressed. Yeah, Santos Coach Tarpeh, Santos Tarpeh was indeed a veteran. He was a guru, and he was one of our Liberia best players ever that we can point at historically. He's one of the best players Liberia has ever produced.
Okay. And we were talking yesterday about your time growing up in Maryland County as a boy. How did you begin this whole football business? Today you've earned some training from Europe. You now do some coaching in the USA, where you currently reside. But how did it all begin?
Well, Rachel, I told you earlier that my brother and I grew up. We were born in Harper, and at one point, my parents took me to Plebo at Kavala, the Tabo. I grew up. I spent a couple of months in the Tabo, and they brought me back to Harper, and I spent all my childhood days here in Harper. I went to school. I went to Fatima Elementary. I was very young, very, very young. I was the youngest player ever to play for Fatima High School in 1972. Very young. I was like 14 years.
Wow.
But when you put me among big guys,
that's when you performed. Eh?
I fire up, boy. I get fire up, and then they all get surprised. But what little boy just doing all that kind of thing like that, But Harper was a very special place to be. Growing up in Harper was something. It was fun. There were two things that happened in Harper. You go to school, and then soccer. Nothing else. So we could play football and create our own field just anywhere. Just anywhere. So with that, I mean, we could play soccer on the beach, in the sand. Nukutan predominantly was sandy area.
Okay.
So all the places that we play in Nukutan was sand. Man, you just imagine the ball coming from in the air before it bounces. You gotta be there to get on that ball. So all those experiences help us when we grew up. I mean, it helped with our skills level. But not to tell you anything else. The name that they call me here in Harper, from Harper's Marylanders, Dance Owusu, the Gold King. Dance Owusu, the Gold King. Oh boy, it was. Football. It's not just to see 11 players on the field, but it is an entertainment. Entertaining those who are watching the game. So that what happens during those years here in Harper. Harper has the best cream of players.
Now, talking about best cream of players, Maryland contributed a lot to the national level, including the Lone Star. Tell us a bit about that. Tell us a bit about Joka and all the guys who you played with, and eventually you moved over to the LPRC Oilers and all of that. Bring us to speed with that.
Well, I mean, Maryland produced high-level players. You see players like Stanislaus Momo, they call him Jay, played for Fatima High School. And Stanislaus Momo was a very tall, 6'3" foot. And when Stanislaus is playing on the field with the kind of height he has and the legs he had, when he shoots from the 21 yards, the ball has two things to do. Either go up over the bar or in the back of the net. So Stanislaus, goalkeeper was always afraid for him to shoot.
Wow.
Then we have Anthony Yinanti. Body work. If you ask any Marylander who grew up in the 60s, you say body work. He was a man. There was no ball that could cross in the air before the goal, and he was there. That didn't enter the back of the net. He would leave from the ground in the air, and his heading was like shot, like he was taking a shot. So we have diverse players. We have another guy they call Joseph Slowian, playing for Fatima and playing for Maryland. Joseph Slowian, they call him 5 minutes redeemer. 5 minutes redeemer. So if you were leading Maryland 2-0, you didn't win a game yet. If you were leading Fatima 3-0, you didn't win yet. Joseph Slowian will play the ball in the air, not on the ground. He taps the ball, bump, before you can, he put it over you, and he pass behind you, and he push it one. And when he shoot, everybody jumping up. So we grew up looking at those guys playing. You seen like Francis Nipson, you seen Dominic Snare, Peter Snare from Plibo, Sekou Gomez that played for IE, one of IE best goalkeeper, came from Harper, came from Plibo. Sekou Gomez, Boyi Swen from Plibo, played for IE in those days, knock knees. So Harper was the place, and guess what? Harper had one team at one point. They called it the Crackers. Maryland Crackers. Maryland Crackers were composed of all the best players that you ever was sponsored by one Lemoni man called Kime. Right on Maryland Avenue, opposite the Secondary Inn. The way Kime had a store. And it was a place to be. In the afternoon, all the little Pape, the BB boys would just sit down right to his store, put their chairs outside, drinking their little beer, smoking their cigar. Harper was a special place to be.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And growing up, you started off at Nathan Barnes, am I correct?
Yes.
How did you commute to school and all of that? Tell us a bit about when you were a little boy.
We had two public elementary schools. We have Nathan Barnes schools, which was a nursery, pre-kindergarten or something like that. Then we had Demonstration Elementary School that has or kindergarten. So these two schools have two buses, predominantly that were used for students to take students to school. So the yellow bus were for natal band, and the blue bus were for demonstration elementary school. So we had this rivalry, jealousy, demonstration old boss, natal band, demonstration Brukoto, natal band, new boss, like that. So when the students in the bus, they'll be throwing each other, buses are passing by each other.
I'm believing you have buses that if you ever walk into school, you're not going to be.
So we have feeding programs in the schools.
Okay.
We will go to school and they will feed us in school. So they made education compulsory, that every parent had to send a child to school.
And encouraging you, because you were encouraged to go to school.
Motivated to go to school. And the good thing about it, most of the leaders that were in Harper City, senators, representatives, clergymen, everybody, wives, they didn't sit at home to polish their nails. They were all school teachers. They would go teach in kindergarten. Or some were teaching in elementary school, the brewers, the youngsters.
And what about the children of these officials, these local officials? Did they send them away, or were they in school here in Maryland?
There's a new trend of leadership here in Liberia, in Maryland particularly. Those people that were at the helm of leadership in Harper, more especially representatives, senators, had all their children here in Harper City. Their wives were here. They did not take their wives to Monrovia. They only went to work and had a session. At weekends, they would come home. We had Liberian National Airways. We had a big strip. The airport here, I see the airport, it came together. It's small. It contracted. The airport was big, huge. As the plane descended from the lake and dropping over this airport is something to watch. But I came just recently, the airport, I'm like, is this Harper City Airport? So this representative had your kids attending Fatima, attending Kipama High School, or attending Bishop Ferguson High School. None of those guys' kids were ever in Monrovia. So therefore, they will come home every weekend to go to church.
And ensure that everything was working well in the county.
Everything was working well. They will come home on weekend to go to church. All the representatives, senators, even Dodge Wilson, the Chief Justice of Liberia, Dodge Wilson. So Maryland had he had a son who was a Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Dodge Wilson. He also right up Cape. And his kids were here, going to school. And there was no segregation of native boys, Congo boy, or whatever. Although that settlement was there, but Maryland did not promote it. We all was one. We all were Marylanders. We all love this county. This is the county we born in. We don't have no other county but beside this county.
No, you like our business.
My brother. So this is how Harper was. The representative those days wanted the best of Maryland. You see the Totman College. It was a result of the leadership. They said Maryland needed a college. Maryland needed a university. And that became a gift to Totman. It's Diamond Jubilee in 1970.
Okay, folks, we are here in conversation on the Night Talk with veteran footballer William Tenesio Tarpeh. And of course, even though he came down to, I would say, on a solemn note to bury his older brother, who also was a soccer legend in Maryland County. But we are having a chit-chat, and subsequently we're going to be opening up the phone lines. But let's talk a bit more, sir, about the planned homecoming of the Bishop Ferguson, because I think you graduated from Bishop Ferguson High School.
The Snow Hill is how we call Bishop Ferguson High School. Those years, Bishop Ferguson House was a boarding school. Later on, it turned into a day school after the boarding school was closed.
Okay.
Now, Harper had 3 boarding schools. Fatima, the convent where the girls, especially exclusively for girls.
Right.
And then we'll have Bishop Ferguson, and then we'll have St. Francis in Plebo. Automatic 4. So all of these institutions produced, they had high standards.
And even including the government schools.
Including Kepama High School. High
standard.
If you went to Kepama High School, man, you came from there, you had the best, the Indians, we are Indian teachers. You know, and we have qualified teachers. So the level of education in Harper was high. In fact, Harper was a center of learning for Liberia. If any big guy in Monrovia had problem with his daughter or with his son, giving them problem in Monrovia, they will put them on the airplane and ship them to Monrovia or ship them to Harper. In 3 years' time, they straighten up. Because they can't stay home.
So what about this homecoming of the Bishop Ferguson? You and I know it's still in its infancy, but there's something you guys are working on. Tell us a bit about that before we open up the phone lines.
Yeah, Bishop Ferguson High School, as I was saying, hold a special place in the history of education in Liberia. Remember, the Carterton College today that we have in Bon County was right here. Right here in Harper.
Yeah, in fact, I remember they used to call that place Cottington.
Cottington,
Bishop, right, yeah. Right.
And then when they moved it to Bon County, it became Bishop Ferguson High School. So you see, we have that history. However, all the alumni, all the graduates, all people that went to Bishop Ferguson High School that are in the diaspora, we're trying to reorganize the Alumni Association. And one thing that happened was that the huge thought came on me, and I was able to mobilize most of the alumni in America. That is a need for us to converge on Harper in 1 or 2 years from now. Even if not this year, next year. We are targeting about 3 or 4 or 500 alumni associates to converge on Harper from all walks of life in the diaspora. And when we started that mobilization, Messenger, Facebook broke down. The responses that we had, people that wanted to see Bishop Ferguson High School name being to re-emerge. The anxieties that was shown indicate that yes, indeed, the Alumni Association want to see the rebirth of Bishop Ferguson High School. And we want to come back here in Harper, 500 students. We want to march in the streets of Harper by classes, class of 79, class of 82, class of 1960, and we're going to wear our uniforms.
Wow.
We will be in our blue and white Bishop Ferguson High School uniform. Just imagine as old as we are. You know.
But what about the reopening of the school? I know it's owned by the Episcopal Church, but are you working with the church to maybe try to reopen the school?
Yeah, I mean it's on the agenda. It's on the agenda for the reopening of the school. But the most important step is for us to have the pilgrimage, for us to re-emerge, for us to converge on Harper. So that will set the stage. It is an agenda item that we are discussing. And from whatever event that will be held in Harper City, because we want to have 3 days event. One, an Olympics, or 1 day Olympic in honor of Onabi, Clarence Freeman, or Clarence Cooper, David Freeman, Danzo, all the teachers that ever taught us, that contributed to our academic achievements. We want to honor them with a soccer tournament. And then we want to have intercessory service for them at the St. Mark Episcopal Church on Gregory Street. And then we will have a final ball at the City Hall. And then have a cookout on Sunday on Bishop Ferguson High School Hill, right on the properties of the high school. So all of these students, when we bring them here, we take away some experiences. And in the future, we all want to come back and reside here in Harper. Particularly I, who's speaking right here on the radio. If I'm retiring soon. I'm making my way to Harper to come and live here in Harper and make my contributions to the social, economic, and political development of this country, the county. The county has been the city of all cities. Harper has been the cities of all cities. There's no city in the Republic of Liberia can come close to Harper City. The glory of this city, we got to bring it back.
Wow. Okay, so folks, if you are there, we're here. It's time for you to start placing your calls. Dial our regular numbers 0880-191972, 0770-571010. Let's go to the line to take our first call. Good evening, caller. Welcome to the Night Talk.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Thanks and praise to the Most High. Go right ahead, sir. You're live.
Well, my name is James Tuklo, and I joined the conversation from Middlesex community. And so let me quickly come up with my point before the misbehavior of the late energy or LEC it takes place again. Because yesterday we all were so eager to ask the senior brother in studio there some late information that up to this time we haven't gotten. But first of all, let me just say again, senior brother, welcome back to Maryland County, and let me use this medium to again extend my sympathy for the loss of one of your brothers. And I know it wasn't something easy. You know, there are some people, because of the little cash that they have, they would just say, oh man, let me just send a little money down there and let them just bury him. But what you did, I believe, most Marylanders, they are very proud of you. Now, when it comes to what has to do with football, senior brother, I know more people are on the line that want to participate. There's certain information I want to get. You guys were the senior brothers before other people, before we could follow. Now, there is an information about this Wani Boto. Wani Boto, who was one of, I think, Liberia's best players. So I hope maybe if you have the opportunity to just give us a little information about the demise of Wani Boto, because other people said the man was on bail and I know he took, the drip that was in him, and the doctor told him not to go to do this. So at least, senior brother, please, just a little information. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tuklo. Sir, we're gonna give you time to respond. Let's take a few calls, and then we can give you a chance to respond. 0880-191972, 0770-571010. Those are the numbers to call. We have veteran soccer legend from Maryland County. He's currently our in-studio guest. And of course, what better time could it be when we have the county meet going on? And as well with the call, sir, you also have plans maybe of coming down during. Okay, let's take the calls. Hello.
Hello.
Go right ahead.
I'm Drobo Nathaniel Junior calling from West Virginia.
Mr. Nathaniel Drobo, go right ahead, sir. You're live.
Okay, I would say thanks to the senior brother in studio. For me, I do not know him, but we listened to him and he said a lot of good things concerning sport. So for this meeting, I would say no more man to him for the loss of his brother. He just got to keep courage. It will just take time, but he just got to keep courage. So I say bravo to him and thanks him for his lecturing, because I admire his lecturing concerning about sport. So we say thanks to our brothers in Bon County. We all pray to God that this coming or the county meet, which is the meeting of Grand Bassa. Even though people say Grand Bassa is a tough county, but I think Maryland County will show Grand Bassa the record that they will overlap them. So we say we all pray to God that things come to pass.
Thank you very much, Mr. Drobo. Keep the calls coming. We'll take two more calls, and because time is running up on us. But you did mention recently about coming down during maybe the time when Maryland County is preparing for the National County Sports Meet, to lend your support, your technical advice, and all of that. How far with that? How soon should people expect that input from you?
Well, this has been a dream I coached after I retired from active football. I'm the only first player that coached the same team that I play for, FPRC Oilers.
Wow.
That became sensational. They call them the press. The press gave them the name Sensational FPRC Oilers. So I coached them myself. And then eventually I was awarded a scholarship for Liberia, or slot Liberia had, to go to Europe, to go to Hungary, through the auspices of the International Olympic Committee to represent Liberia. So I went there and I did international coaching in modern soccer, representing Liberia. So with all the credentials I have, I was supposed to come back and coach the national team. That was the plan.
Okay.
But then the war intervened, took away that those plans. But my goal is to coach, as one of my contributions to Maryland, is to come and coach for 1 year Maryland County football team. And we will have to make an agreement with the people of Maryland that our goal is to capture the championship, to bring the trophy here. As I played for Grand Cru before, when Grand Cru was a name, when Grand Cru was established as a county, we played for Grand Cru. We're from Maryland. But then they hired us to play for Grand Cru. And we played for Grand Cru. My brother who just died, Santos was playing number 5. I was playing the midfield. And Thomas Bidell, Bourbon Bidell were playing number 9 for Grand Cru. We had a team they called D-Bamu. D-Bamu is a global name. Let's go home. Those of us that came from Maryland, that play in Maryland, we formed ourselves into a team in Harper. But because of some other reason, Maryland went to Morovia. We went there and made ourselves available that we are here to play for Maryland, and they shunned us. Oh, no, we don't want you to play. We got our own players. We said, okay, thank you. We went to Grand Cru. And that year, it was unbelievable what we did on that Anthony Tubman Stadium. We captured that trophy for the Cru people, and we give it to them. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to come back home and pledge my support to the county team. And myself, I want to take that team to any future county meet. And the goal is to bring the championship, the trophy, right in Harper City here.
Okay. Now let's get into this concern from one of the callers about Wani Boto. Who was Wani Boto? Where did this incident, I don't know whether it's allegorical or it's a real thing that happened. Some people say, I remember hearing that story. I was quite a little boy at the time, and they said it happened in Maryland County. He was admitted at J.J. Dawson. He got sick, and then they were leading Maryland or something, and then he went. So just please tell us about Wani Boto.
Wani Boto he's not a fictional character. He's real.
Okay.
Wani Boto is a Cru boy from Bagleyville. His mother was from Pool River. They call it Nifa. It's in Grand Cru.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pool River.
But grew up in Ghana. So they when they deported the Liberians to Ghana, or influence of Liberian came back. So Wani Boto came back home. Wani Boto played for Cape Coast Dwarf in Ghana. At the same time, played for Barrow. Wani Boto never came to Harper to play here. He played in Morovia. But Wani Boto was hospitalized at one point. And this, in 1968, this huge tournament, who owned the land tournament, I think between Barrow and IE, was going on. And this particular game, Wani Boto was hospitalized. But then IE was leading Barrow 2-0, the first half. First half, 2-0. And those days, we had the football game being, they had a commentary of football games.
Mm-hmm. Live commentary.
Henry Andrews, those commentators. Man, when those boys on the radio commentating games, if you in your house,
you won't go on the field straight.
you want to run straight on the field, because they will give you every details of description. Wani Boto ran from the hospital. He had a surgery. The surgery had not completed yet, but he was recovering, and everybody was happy. And before they know, they saw Boto on the stadium. He said he wanted Jesse to dress. Yes. This woman here, Miss Barrow, Teman George, I'm sorry. Teman George was over Barrow. She was at university doing the catering. And they gave that guy the jersey to go on that field. When Wani Boto came from on that stadium, that entire field went wild. The commentator say we can now see Wani Boto is appearing on the field. You? That ball took the field in less than 15 minutes time. Boto, he dribbled three guys, he pushed the ball for Massa. There's a guy from Gambia that was playing in Liberia for Barrow. They call him Massa. Very noted for running. And the ball in the back of the net. In the next 5 minutes, the ball, Barrow redeemed 2-2. And Wani Boto scored a third goal, 3-2. And the field went wild. And in that process, somebody hit him, and then he fell. The wounds opened again.
Okay, was it was it in the action of play or?
Yes, on the field.
Or out of the jubilation and all of that?
On the field, he got someone
fouled him.
They fouled him, yeah. And it seems like the wound where the operation had occurred opened again. And all we knew that the game stopped. The ambulances were on the field. Red Cross were right across the down
on Lane Street.
Those days, Lane Street. And the ambulance were on the field. And you could see the medics taking their bags, the medics' bags on the field, and they said no, they had to take him to the hospital. And the game just stopped. And the next morning we hear Wani Boto has passed.
Wow.
The entire country was sad. This is a guy that played for Liberia in Ghana in 1966. And Ghana was leading Liberia 4-0. The great Wani Boto. He was one of Africa's best before George Weah time. George Weah didn't even come close to Boto. And Boto will always be celebrated as Liberia best. The white man is mesmerized. When Boto have the ball, he can open your legs at the same time and put the ball through your leg and jump behind you and take the ball. He can draw as many as he wanted to. On the touchline, you can't come close to Boto on the touchline. The way he would, his shoulders alone will make you run. He shake his head and you see people running, falling down. So he was one of Liberia's greatest players. So a funeral brought together Ghana and Liberia at that funeral. His funeral is not equal to any funeral ever held in Liberia. He was the man of the people, the player of this country, dearly loved, brought pride to Liberia. Yeah, Wani Boto is a historical figure, not a myth.
Okay.
But from Barclayville.
Okay, so folks, we are here. Time is no longer a friend, and we are in conversation with football veteran and legend William Tenesio Tarpeh. He's in the county, of course. He resides in the U.S., but he comes home regularly. What's going to be your closing statement before we draw down to close this one?
Well, I mean, Harper glory, the glory that Harper had, or Maryland had, we are all anticipating of seeing this glory come back. Harper was a special place in Liberia. And coming back home, seeing that no job, the people don't have work to do here, it saddens me. And I want to urge the leadership here to do everything that they can do, first of all, to give hope to the people here by means of investment opportunity for jobs to be created here in Harper. to see the men again going back to work. So Harper, there has to be hope for the people in Harper. So with our work, you will see the entire social fabric of this county falling apart because the men do not have work. The children depending on the father to support them in some instances. And if there's no work, it is impossible. I see that Harper used to be the daily bread for Maryland, but everything now has shifted to Plebo, which of course is not bad, but still we want to see a balance. We want to see job coming to Harper while at the same time Plebo maintaining the commercial, spirit of the county, so that people in Harper also will have an opportunity to work. But the county team, again, I think we all got to get behind the county team and provide our support. This is why when I was coming back from the States, I brought 10 brand new soccer balls and I donated to the county, this ongoing county meet, and the Tokbanga as my contribution towards the team participation in this ongoing county meet. So guys, there's hope. There's hope for Maryland in the years to come. And we all have to work together to mobilize Marylanders here, Marylanders abroad. We are all Maryland. No one can divide us to say this home is not your home. This is where we're born. If we're not born here, what other places that we have? No other place except Harper, except Maryland, except Plebo.
So you've been coming regularly. Last year you were here. Now you're also here in 2025. Have you noticed any improvement in the county and all of that as compared to then? I believe you've been coming quite regularly. Am I correct?
Well, as you know, the county was severely damaged during the Civil War. All the infrastructures we had in Maryland that was intact were all destroyed. So it is understandable. But at the same time, the leadership have to pay attention to the roads. The roads are awkward, in bad shape. The roads leading from here to Nukuta, it just literally closing. Hey, these guys this is the only thing they can give the people to develop the areas that the people live in and bring those areas back to life. But I know that they burn these places here and people are trying to revamp them, recover. It will take time. But one thing I saw was that because of no jobs, I see people building on the sidewalls of the streets, which of course were not in Harper. That's the only thing I saw, I think, take away the kind of Harper that we wanted to see. But it's understandable. People got to find means of survival. They got to survive. If they will sell, they will sell. But on the main street, on the sidewalks of Harper, oh no. But anyway, I leave it with the leadership, with the government. They will deal with that.
Okay, so folks, there you go. I want to say thank you very much, veteran William Tenesio Tarpeh, for taking up your time. At least we didn't get caught up this time as it was yesterday. God plans everything for the best. Your flight got cancelled, and that's why you were able to make it this time. We're not happy. We know it's going to be more costly, but maybe God knows why it happened that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, because it looked like God wanted me to come back to studios.
Yes, exactly. So, folks, we want to say thanks very much. My name is Rutherford Gardner. You've been listening to The Night Talk. A repeat of this program is usually at 8 the next morning. Good night.